Baking soda and baking powder are both leavening agents. Both cause chemical reactions which release carbon dioxide gas. This carbon dioxide gas is trapped in the batter and produces the light and airy texture in baked goods. The chemical name for baking soda is sodium bicarbonate or bicarbonate of soda. Baking soda needs an acid and a liquid to react. Baking soda is commonly used in dishes that don't have a lengthy baking time. You should always measure the baking soda accurately and use just enough baking soda to react with the amount of acid in the recipe. If you add too much, then the extra baking soda will remain unreacted and will give a soapy or bitter taste to the cake. Baking powder is made of baking soda, one or more acids, and cornstarch. Baking powder only needs a liquid and heat to react. It does not need an acid as it already contains a dry acid. There are three types of baking powders: fast acting, slow acting, and double acting. Fast acting baking powder. It contains only one acid. This acid reacts in the presence of a liquid at room temperature. It releases most of the gas quickly as soon as it's mixed into the batter. Slow acting baking powder. It contains only one acid. The acid reacts on being heated. It releases most of the gas slowly when the batter is heated. Double acting baking powder. It contains two types of acids. One is a fast acting and the other slow acting. Leavening occurs in two stages. First stage at room temperature when you add the baking powder to the batter. Second stage when the batter is heated in the oven. Sometimes it can contain only one acid. The same acid reacts in two stages. So if you use baking soda or fast acting baking powder in a recipe, then you will have to bake the cake immediately. If you use slow acting or double acting baking powder in a recipe, then you can keep the batter for a longer time before baking it. Acidic ingredients that are commonly used in cakes: yogurt, buttermilk, cream of tartar, chocolate, vinegar, sour cream, cocoa powder, brown sugar, honey, fruit juices, citrus juices, or molasses. Natural or regular cocoa powder is acidic, but Dutch processed cocoa powder is neutral because it's processed with an alkali. So if you use Dutch processed cocoa powder in a recipe, then you don't need an acidic ingredient to neutralize it. Baking soda is 3 to 4 times more potent than baking powder. So if you need to use baking soda in place of baking powder, then use 1/4 teaspoon baking soda in place of 1 teaspoon baking powder. Also, do not forget to include an acidic ingredient which is required to activate the baking soda. How to make your own baking powder. If you need to make baking powder at home, for 1 teaspoon baking powder, use 1/4 teaspoon baking soda with 1 to 2 tablespoons of an acidic ingredient like lemon juice or vinegar. Or for 1 teaspoon baking powder, use 1/4 teaspoon baking soda with 1/2 teaspoon cream of tartar and 1/4 teaspoon cornstarch. Do not substitute baking powder for baking soda or baking soda for baking powder, because both ways the taste, texture, and browning of the crumb and crust are affected. Also, since their reaction time are different, one is fast acting and one is slow acting, the texture will be affected in a big way. Substitute only if you have run out of one of the ingredients. Quantity of leavening agent needed to rise 1 cup of flour. To rise 1 cup of flour, use 1/4 teaspoon baking soda or use 1 1/4 teaspoon baking powder. Quantity of baking soda that's needed to neutralize an acidic ingredient. Use 1/4 teaspoon baking soda to neutralize 2 tablespoons of lemon juice or vinegar. or use quarter teaspoon baking soda for half cup of buttermilk, yogurt or sour cream. Before ending, let's look at 3 recipes to clear things up. Recipe 1 uses 1 cup of flour and no acidic ingredient. So you cannot use baking soda in this recipe because there is no acidic ingredient to activate it. If you use baking soda in this recipe, then it will not rise the 1 cup of flour, so the cake will be dense and also have a soapy or bitter taste. So instead, use 1 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, which will be enough to rise the 1 cup of flour. The second recipe is a yogurt cake recipe. If the recipe uses half cup of yogurt and 1 cup of flour, then use quarter teaspoon baking soda to neutralize the acidic ingredient, and the same quarter teaspoon of baking powder will also work on the 1 cup of flour to rise it. So a total of quarter teaspoon of baking soda is enough for the whole recipe. But what if it's a larger recipe and you're using half cup of yogurt and 2 cups of flour? Then quarter teaspoon of baking soda will neutralize half cup of yogurt and rise 1 cup of flour. For the second cup of flour, instead of using quarter teaspoon of baking soda, use 1 1/4 teaspoon baking powder because there is no acidic ingredient left to activate another quarter teaspoon of baking soda. I hope this video helped you understand more about baking soda and baking powder. If you like the content, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.